Good evening and welcome to the Minions of the Zoo. I'm your host and keeper of the Hairy Channel, and with me tonight are minions SkepTock,
Hi, everybody.
DrFunctional,
Bleh.
and Sora Luna, who is a albino snake with a flower crown.
Yeah, she's a pretty danger noodle.
How was your day today, Sora?
Oh, lazy and wonderful.
Oh, that's good. You always go to fabulous places and eat fabulous things. You seem to have this whole life thing figured out pretty well.
Well, I did do basically 2 nights in England last weekend, so this weekend nothing.
Okay. So did you go to see the Queen?
I did. And I got through. 9 hours in queue.
Wow. I can't remember if I showed this to anybody, but there was somebody who was trying to come up with an efficient solution because so many people were trying to see the Queen. They came up with, let me see if I can.
Yeah, you brought that up after the video you're supposed to be playing right now.
I brought that up after that video, but I don't think I've shown
Don't
it
scar
to
people.
I haven't shown it to chat, right? I just showed it after the last show. Let's see. Let's do this. So here's their plan, so this is how it worked for you, right? People walk in and do something like this and then move through, right? There, you pay your respects.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah. So that's a way of doing it. Terribly inefficient. So what if we do something more like this? It wouldn't have
80 miles per hour, no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
You think that would have been a better use of everybody's time?
No.
Maybe.
Give her one last send off. Oh, the poor lady.
Made
Okay.
in Canada.
Okay.
This
All
too
right.
soon. Too soon.
It's far too soon. All right. Sorry about that.
There's something about working. Like, you have to stand without sitting for that whole time
Mhm.
out in the elements. That's just, that's too easy.
Mm.
Maybe more efficient, but it's too easy.
Yeah, the experience becomes
You
more
have to have
memorable
the
because of
cue.
the suffering.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
good.
refusing to eat or drink the whole time because I was not using those porta potties. after 7 days or however much it was already people using it. Nope.
I'm sure that
5
cup
days.
runneth over. That's no. That's
So
one of those high-paying jobs that does not require a high school education. Honey bucket emptier. But you can make damn good money emptying out people's septic tanks and doing that. It's
Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's a dirty
Yeah.
job,
It's
You
a
should get paid
it's a
for it.
hard, dirty job, and you get paid accordingly. But we
Yeah.
should make sure that people who work at McDonald's get paid just as well, because that would be fair. Let me see before we start talking about economics.
We should be like North Korea. Everybody, including the president of the country, down to the lowest janitor, gets exactly the same salary. That is actually the law and the practice in North Korea, except for the ones who are close to the government.
I'm sure there's no way you could do an end run around that law.
I think everything will be fine. That's what AOC wants.
Yeah, of course. Hey, Skep, how was your day?
Oh, it was exhausting. Running the dogs for a couple of miles in the morning and then coming back and discovering that the backyard of somebody who used to live next to me died recently, and that we didn't want that property to look bad.
No.
And, there's confusion among the daughters, neither one of whom lives in Virginia, one lives in California, and they're doing their best so we're trying to help them out by keeping up just doing the lawn. And but I got to discover he's got like 25 fruit trees, little fruit trees planted all over the backyard. And I had to push that mower back and forth in the 95-degree heat. It just,
Yeah.
Anyway, but got it done, and now it's under control, so it'll be a lot easier to mow next time. Anyway, it was kind of fun, interesting day.
Yeah, you just need a shirt that's got like a picture of, was it Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon, just with a thing that says, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
It is, exactly.
And you should wear that when you're doing things that you really probably shouldn't have to do. But you were a good guy. You stepped up, took care of
Oh,
it.
it's fun. Just, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he took such pride in the thing. He would hate to see it overgrown like that. I think his shade would not be at rest.
Yeah.
So,
Well, he
there you
went
go.
suddenly. He wasn't planning
Yes.
on this
No,
happening.
it was a heart attack. Heart attack in a recliner.
Yeah.
Oh.
Died in his sleep.
That's one of the better ways to go.
This was a Marine who served in Korea at the Chosin Reservoir and all through the retreat.
Yeah. Well, I am going to get to you, Functional. Actually, let's just say hi to Functional. Hi, Functional.
Hi, Functional.
Bliet.
Hi,
How are you
Functional.
doing?
I'm okay.
You doing okay? You have anything about your day you want to share before we move
I
on?
want you to share that video.
Which video? Oh, the terrible.
And no, my day started just a few hours ago, so I slept all day.
If there's time at the end of the show, I'll show the video.
Okay.
It's with the cursed image that I created. It's pretty awesome.
Okay. Harry's just a little bashful about his masterpiece.
I'm a little bashful about breaking my show before it started. Is what I'm bashful about.
There's one thing I'm good at. It's breaking.
I didn't
things.
realize it was episode 1776 today.
Leroy Cat.
I kind of feel like I should have done something much more star-spangled and bannerish for this show. Oh, we can at least change the background. There we go. Mission accomplished.
So that was slavery's 165th year. Is that the way that goes? Or
Yeah, something like that. We
100
should all go get discount tickets to Hamilton.
Sorry, do you feel
No.
attacked yet? I only feel half attacked.
Yeah, I
Well,
was going to say.
I'm just
Feel
gonna
half attack.
No.
I'm gonna relate a little bit. Well, she's just thinking about that time you guys burned down the White House or something.
The only time that's important.
Yeah.
There's this great scene in this movie called The Gambler with John Goodman where he's talking to the main character, and he goes on this mini tirade about what America means. It's like America's great. America was built on fuck you. You got a kingdom, an army, a navy. Fuck you, blow me. And I love that scene because that is the big thing about America. And I kind of think, well, what would Canada be? It would be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
You want to join our union? No, thank
No.
you. No, really, join our union. No, thank you.
No, we like having a country out there that we're friendly with that we can pretend to be from when we travel abroad and don't want to get in trouble. I can just start saying A and wearing like a Canadian Maple Leaf shirt,
And I can go to Iraq and be like, no, Canadian. And
I'm on vacation,
they'll
don't
put
you
their
know?
guns down.
A
Canadian,
my
eh?
house-
Eh?
I will say, and I'm sorry because I've made a lot of internet American friends, but there's nothing more insulting. Like, I actually get insulted. Like, I will take insult and offense to be called an American abroad.
You American?
I'm like
Well,
this.
No,
Canadian. Please.
Yeah.
Like, I'm full on tone and face and everything. And it's automatic. I'm so sorry. I know it's
Well,
No.
automatic.
I think it's a
automatic.
reflex. It's in our
It's
national
reflex.
genetics. No. I've had the
If you want
same
to piss
thing.
people off, like call somebody from New Zealand Australian, and then you can see people get really churlish.
Yeah, but nobody cares.
So I understand. It's sort of like the way I feel when people say, "Oh, you're from Southern California, like Los Angeles." No, 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 not even close. But I wanted to tell you a little story since it is 1776 edition. Back in World War II, the greatest generation, my grandfather was in the submarine corps. And so while he was away from my grandmother, being depth charged for 40 days and 40 nights, she was, you know, here trying to raise my dad and do all this sort of stuff. And they were, you know, separated a lot because things needed to be done. And my grandfather was the guy to go do them. And she, you know, did her part, you know, back at home struggling, and they were apart. She saved every single piece of correspondence that he ever sent her. And part of the going through somebody's life after they're gone, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's really, really important to them that's not so important to anybody else on this planet. And you feel really bad about getting rid of stuff, but you have to sort of go through it just in case, you know, just in case there's something that you sent them or whatever. She saved everything. So I'm going through this stack of cards and letters that my grandfather had sent to my grandmother. And I found in this pile a check for $200 from, it's like the 1960s. And on this thing, it said something about, oh, we sold a car. My family sold a car to some guy that I don't have any memory of. It's a long time ago. For $600, and it was a $200 installment toward that car. And I was trying to figure out why this check was in this pile of stuff. It hadn't been processed by the bank. It didn't have any stamps on it. It hadn't been endorsed. But there was a note on the back of it from my grandfather to my grandmother. Just a little sweet note that he wrote when he basically collected the check and gave it to her to deposit. She didn't deposit it. She saved it. It went in that pile. Instead of taking $200, she saved that because she never threw away anything he ever sent her.
Wow.
That's how you do it, folks. I mean, it's a little crazy. It's a little Unabomber red yarn stuff pinned to the walls, but you know, you want to see how people can get married and stay together until they're gone. That's how you do the work.
And with inflation, that's like $2 million now.
Well, I was just staring at it, trying to figure out what I was looking at. Why is there a check here?
Yeah.
Why isn't it endorsed? And I'm like, oh my God, this is what she did. She just didn't cash it. She did not deposit this check because there was a note from my grandfather.
So there's no process stamp on the back.
Nope.
Proof
There's
stamp.
no evidence this thing ever saw a bank ever. I will scan it and send you a copy, Skep.
No, I totally believe you. I just think that's sort of wonderful. I would love to see a picture of it, but I just because of how wonderful the story is.
Yeah. But that's what these people were like, you know, the greatest generation.
Yeah.
Because World War II sucked.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it sucked hard. Not that Vietnam and Korea didn't suck in their own special and unique ways, but World War II sucked. And I just kind of hope that as time goes forward, we don't lose sight of the amazing contribution that our forefathers, or forebearers, I guess, did for us so that we could be here today and take so many amazing things we have for granted.
And we do.
Anyway, not to be too
Inevitable,
saccharine.
sadly.
You're not saccharine at all.
Yeah.
Just, mom and apple pie.
So there's not really a good segue for this thing, but amongst the things that have been in the newsletter...
Are there any good segues anywhere?
Yeah. Have any of you been following this whole Alex Jones trial that's been going on, a civil trial where
Trying to avoid
over
it.
Sandy Hook?
Why?
No.
What nonsense is he doing now? What's going on with that?
The question I want to pose to you guys is, he's basically in a Connecticut court in a civil case. Even a casual examiner like me can see that the judge seems really biased. It's not a great process. Can a person like Alex Jones get a fair trial? You know, because he ended up saying some pretty terrible things about a bunch of kids dying being part of a false flag operation. I believe that was his exact thing.
No,
it's just
Harry,
very
that's
prejudicial.
not what the law, but that's not what the law promises. It doesn't promise a fair trial. It promises the fairest trial possible. Okay? So you get the fairest trial possible, but you get a trial.
Is that federal?
Well,
a federal promise?
That's just a general principle of American law.
The country then. My point is then, could if to achieve the fairest trial possible, if this Ohio court had to Connecticut court had to achieve that goal of the fairest trial, if they had to hold the proceedings in, say, Alabama, because the people there knew nothing about the case or whatever, and so that you could get that impartiality.
But see,
could
that's
something like that take place in
no,
the United
no,
States?
and let me explain why. Alex Jones, his notoriety, his reputation, the way people feel about him, that is spread evenly like peanut butter over bread all across the United States. Any change of venue is going to have people with more or less the same mix of opinion about Alex Jones. Yeah, go Alex. Alex is crazy. Alex is dangerous. Alex is harmless. Not. I don't care about Alex. You know, there will be some distribution through there, and it doesn't vary by as much as people think. In point of fact, most people don't really care very much.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing when the prosecutor is being venomous in a courtroom like that, because I've seen some snippets, but I haven't really been paying attention to the whole thing. It's another. I feel it's another thing though when the jury, because it is a panel of peers. It's not a singular person. But when the judge seems so overtly biased against the one side of the trial, it doesn't sit well with me at all. Like, she's not even trying to feign.
What's being alleged against Alex Jones? What harm? What harm was done to him?
Well, that is the $64 question. The parents who are claiming that they were harmed by his statements. You know, what sort of harm? Financial harm? You know, none of these parents lost their job because of anything he said. It's not like the Johnny Depp case where Johnny can say, look, this was my income before, this was my income later, these were the projects that may have been affected, this is what happened. He can paint a whole picture of how he was affected by Amber Heard's allegations. But these parents, you can't really paint a picture of any kind of financial harm. It's all just sort of, you slandered me and this caused me emotional damage, and you're a terrible person because look at what I was going through with my kids, and then I had to deal with you.
Right.
That's what they're claiming. Which I don't understand how that's a civil lawsuit, because, like you said, what is the damage statement? Plus, there's an FBI agent who's sort of tagged onto this thing too, claiming that he was slandered. But as far as I can tell, Alex Jones never even used the guy's name.
If I were
before
Alex
the trial.
Jones, I would countersue, saying that the opportunity cost, not even opportunity cost, the foregone income that the money he could have made based on what his prior year's income is, based some schedule on that, means his time is worth a certain amount an hour. If the lawsuit is dismissed as frivolous, then they should award him something on his countersuit for his time, and that would be an appropriate way to compute that. It would probably be a very large number.
Well, they have excluded a lot of stuff sort of before the trial started. I forget what those motions are called. I guess they begin with an L. So there's a whole bunch of things Alex is not allowed to talk about. So the prosecutor is trying really, really hard to, in sort of a junior attorney sort of way, to try to get Alex to perjure himself. And kind of like with Johnny Depp, you can tell that the lawyer coming after him isn't really up to the task. But the judge is letting them just get away with all kinds of crap. Again, I'm just a layperson. This is just my impression.
Right.
But, you know, all of the really fun stuff Alex could say that would turn this into a fantastic circus, they've largely stopped him from saying. So he'll be asked questions that he can't answer because of the motions that were filed before the thing before they even impaneled a jury. I just kind of look at this and go, what the hell am I looking at? How can he get a fair trial I think this thing is going to be challenged on appeal. It's mostly just that he's a big target with a big mouth, and he says a lot of stupid shit. And a bunch of these people just decided, well, I've suffered this big loss, but I don't see why I shouldn't get a pound of flesh out of Alex Jones.
Well, that's some pretty scary law the judge is making there. I think that he has a pretty good shot of being reversed, certainly reduced on appeal.
Well,
probably thrown out altogether.
Probably
actually, now that I think about it.
The lawyer was trying to claim that I guess there's some stuff on Alex Jones's website where he's basically got a page up talking about this sort of kangaroo court that's going after him. And there's memes of the judge with laser eyes, you know, and it's memes. And so this clueless prosecutor is trying to paint this meme as something that it absolutely isn't. It's a meme, you dip. He just doesn't understand what a meme is. And he's calling, like he says, oh, you made a whole new website because of this thing. And he said, well, what is that? Well, it's a page. It's a web page, not a website. You know, so the guy doesn't seem to know the difference between a web page and a website. He doesn't understand memes. He's just completely outgunned by Alex Jones. I'm just trying to think, you know, if I said something stupid, I would hate to have the law roll over on me. Luckily, I don't have any money that's worth coming after for something like this. But it's hard not to sympathize and just go, hey, you know, Chucklehead says dumb things all the time. But I don't understand why this is why this even made it to court, to trial.
Yeah, boy, I mean, you know, Alex Jones' lawyer, the first thing I'm going to do is say, throw this out. This is frivolous. You know, just the basis of the lawsuit itself is frivolous on its face. It's something completely subjective. It's something off somebody's wish list, somebody who just wishes to punish this man. This is an obviously frivolous lawsuit. Dismiss it, please. And it should have been summarily dismissed with prejudice. Sorry.
Well, when I was
I'm a
was
younger, too, but I'm just striding about my opinions.
Yeah, they had this woman who was on. I used to listen to her a long time ago, named Mae Russell, and she was like this amazing person who would just talk about conspiracies. It was Mae Russell on the World Conspiracy Report. And I used to listen to this because it was absolutely hilarious. It was all stories of like how the CIA assassinated somebody using a frozen dart made of blowfish toxin, you know, and you know they would shoot them with these special rifles, and they would have all these different ways of making people behave crazy, and it was all MK Ultra, and she would just rattle off like 50 facts in 2 minutes. You know, I mean, it was just like so much detail that it almost seemed like, well, she seems to know what she's talking about, but it's all insane. So I listened to somebody like Alex Jones, and I'm just like, man, you're not nearly as entertaining as Mae Russell used to be. But I do have kind of a soft spot in my heart for the Art Bells and the Alex Joneses, and you know, these people would just show up and start saying, you know, they got child sex slaves on Mars and blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, okay, calm down, Alex. So this is not me defending Alex Jones. It's just like, I don't really want to see anybody get railroaded by the law. I don't want to see the law used as a bludgeon to go after people just because people don't like that person.
But that's an old American tradition, unfortunately.
Yeah, just going after them. Let's see what chat is saying.
It's unfortunate too, because there's this document I hear you guys have that you're so proud of.
And yet,
what the 1619 Project?
The First Amendment, the Constitution, freedom of speech, and all that jazz.
It's a pretty good document. Be a shame if something happened to
it. Nice little document you got.
I better be getting me 20%. Be a shame if something happened to it.
Well, oops. Oh no, I fell on it with a burning candle. What are the odds?
I know. Well, let's see. I wanted to show you guys something. Let's see if we can do this
I'm
compliment.
out of control. I'm falling down the hallway towards the paper shredder. Oh no, woe is me. Somebody catch me.
Okay,
Don't
that's
worry,
quite
Mr. Bill. I'll catch you.
enough
I'm
out of
Mr.
you
Sluggo.
people. Here we go.
Oh no, Mr. Bill.
All right, I'm going to show you something. Let's see if I can be competent. Maybe.
We are getting a look at some of the damage after a large earthquake shook parts of Mexico on the anniversary of two other
Can you hear
major
that?
quakes.
Yes.
Okay. That looks like fun.
Magnitude
Poor babies.
7.6 quake hit yesterday, killed at least one person, and set off alarms in the capital.
Under
Quake was
something.
centered
Just
on
stand there
Mexico's central
filming it.
Pacific coast near the town of Aquila.
Yeah, got to get on
A Los
TikTok.
Angeles woman was there visiting family when the quake struck.
Oh no, not on the gondola.
Very mildly.
Okay, you shut
and
up.
then
There we go. Okay, let's not look at that woman and her stupid glasses. But
I was
yeah,
gonna say, I like her glasses.
you like her glasses. Okay, let's put that back there. There we go.
Very nice. Look at those. They're very cool.
Those are like, to me, that's like frustrated kindergarten teacher glasses, you know?
I don't know. She's one box of hair dye being away from Big Red.
Maybe that's Guy Fieri's mom. I don't know. But
I bet you
yeah,
they're sparkly,
earthquakes
but we can't
suck.
see it properly.
Yeah, but earthquakes just totally suck. I don't know. Have you ever been in one, Sora?
I've been in 3 and didn't realize it all 3 times.
Okay, so you're like one of those people, one of those 10% of people to get COVID but never show any symptoms because you've got
Well,
some genetic quirk.
One of the times was in 6th grade, and the whole school got evacuated, but my art class, there was an earthquake. The first time there was an actual earthquake, but we didn't feel it because our school was earthquake proof, but we got alerted, and so they did everything. Our PA system was down, and we didn't have windows in the classroom, so like where we were, and nobody felt anything. There was no weird swaying. Nobody noticed anything. Nobody came to collect us. They just realized our class wasn't there when they finally evacuated the school. It wasn't a major earthquake, but still you have to evacuate the school. So everybody was out, out far in the field by we have this big metal like shipping container box thing that carries enough supplies for a day for each kid and all that sort of stuff. So they're all there.
Wow.
And then they brought the firemen broke into the classroom. We were like all looking up like, what do you want?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the fun. The other ones were mild, and I guess one I slept through, and the other one we didn't realize the shaking was an earthquake. We thought it was trucks. But
Well,
it was an
before you were
earthquake.
alive, there was a pretty decent earthquake on that big ass island off the coast of Vancouver.
They get all the fun. Most
Yeah.
of the things stop at the island.
Well, it's because it intersects 2 major plates. Well, one major plate and a smaller plate, but the Pacific plate meets the North American plate on the west coast. As well, there's a small plate that's right where Vancouver is.
Yeah, we have been preparing for the big one at 1 since I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
Okay. Every year we had
Mhm.
the big drill for the big one at 1. And don't tell me why it's supposed to come at 1 p.m., but it's supposed to come at 1 p.m. And nothing. Missed it 3 times.
I'm happy living in the middle of the North American plate. We get bumped around a little bit, but it never you
It's
never
not gonna
notice it,
crumble
and
into
it's
the abyss.
only after
Like we
when
are.
it's only after when the news tells you, yeah, there was a 3.1 on the Richter scale today, and okay,
Oh.
didn't even know.
My favorite is because my dad used to work up at Prince Rupert, so they have a beautiful drive that's a tsunami evacuation route, because the moment they get any sort of earthquake, it's a tsunami there. And there's more than once where people actually evacuated a little bit higher up, and then they returned back within like half an hour. But yeah.
Well, the thing, tsunamis are kind of interesting because if you look at it, you basically can create a big old bulge in the water as something gets displaced.
Yeah, you can.
Right, so you might have this big bulge in the middle of the ocean that's only a couple 2-3 feet high, right? But as you get closer and closer to the shore, it's very, very long. It actually, refraction takes place as the
Oh,
sea line, as the floor, as
Yeah.
changes the depth as you approach the shore. And depending on how that's set up, certain areas it essentially magnifies it. It takes a very, very wide 3-foot tall wave and turns into a much narrower 30-foot tall wave. And then your life sucks. You don't want any part of that.
Unless you're Australian.
And that's where tsunamis come from, because it isn't just sort of this thing like, oh, you lucked out. You have to be in the place where the shore conditions are sort of conducive to that type of thing. Same kind of thing with tidal surge from hurricanes. If you look at it, there's a reason why places get flooded near hurricanes, and some do and some don't. And a lot of it has to do with that refraction that takes place because of the seafloor. But I wanted to show you my big earthquake, because I feel for these people down in Mexico. Luckily, it wasn't super built up where this earthquake took place, because they had a 7.6, and they've had lots of little aftershocks. I think they had a 6.5 a few days ago that actually killed another person. But this is
running out of cigarettes.
This is what Loma Prieta was like.
Much more similar to the Mexican fleet idea.
At 5:04 p.m., Latin American Studies 1 was underway at UC Santa Cruz.
So this is fairly close to the epicenter. Santa Cruz is close to SoCal, where the epicenter was.
TV.
Yeah, well,
television.
It's 1989.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah,
Wow.
This sucks.
Sweet Jiminy Cricket.
Not so bad if you're outside, but you can tell people are pretty anxious.
With video cameras everywhere, this
I wish
was the
this
most
dude
visible
was
earthquake ever.
It's Captain Cisco.
And this kid's trying to hide under the
Good call, kid. Good call.
Oh, poor
And then,
baby.
of course, there was this happening. Everybody was getting ready to watch the World Series, and then it was like, "Doh."
Yep.
World Series? What World Series?
Yep.
Yeah, it was.
That happened. That happened. Sure did.
It was pretty interesting, I thought. I'll go back to that woman's glasses. You should get those, Sora.
It is Assassin. That was totally Avery Brooks doing the narration for that.
That was 1989, wasn't it, Harry?
Yeah. Yeah, 1989. It sucked. It was pretty bad. Earthquakes are just terrible. So again, I just kind of... maybe I have too much empathy. Maybe that's my problem. I mean, I can have empathy for Alex Jones, and I see an earthquake like that, and I think, man, earthquakes suck.
You also live on a fault line, don't you?
I may have mentioned this, but I actually was... The day before Loma Prieta was in a place that people died that day. If I'd just gone there a day later, I could have ended up being dead.
Wow.
That's close. That's
very close. Yep.
That's how you know life.
Uncomfortable.
There's a lot of random shit you have no control over.
No, look, can I just share with you?
Please.
During the years, one of the years when I was commuting to Redmond, Washington, spending all week there and then flying home for the weekend. I did that pretty solidly for 2 years, then off and on for another year or two after that. I was up there and we got hit. This was 2001. It was at the end of February, and it was something they now call the Nisqually earthquake. It was a 6.9 on the Richter scale, and from where we were, I think it was to the southwest of us toward the coast. But, we got a tremendous shake. And I remember I was in a Lucent Laboratories lab set, doing an interface between a TCP/IP stack and a G3 switch. And I was actually teaching a class on how to do it. And the whole building, which was built to withstand earthquakes, the modern, very expensive building, state-of-the-art building in Redmond, Washington, just started bouncing back. That's the only word for it, bouncing back and forth. Unfortunately, everything was fairly stable. It was really built to stand the earthquake. That was a very powerful earthquake. And things that weren't secure on desks fell over on the floor. I mean, that was... the extent of it that we had, but not far from there, there was very significant damage, and part of a building fell in. It was a mess. That was a very significant earthquake. 6.9 is very high on. That's a very powerful earthquake.
That'll get your attention, especially if you're close to the epicenter.
Well, now look, the other thing I was going to say about earthquakes was living on an island in San Francisco Bay, the Yerba Buena Island, which used to be the old Navy officer housing, is very interesting because during an earthquake, you can hear the bridge, and the bridge makes this sound. It's hard to explain, and it is the deepest sound you've ever heard in your life. It's just the most amazing thing. And the bridge actually passes through the middle of the island. It tunnels through the island and emerges as the pretty part of the Bay Bridge on the other side. Goes from the East Bay Bridge to the Bay Bridge. And,
sorry, I'm just enjoying some of what chat's saying. Yeah, if those are polycarbonate, they probably would. They're protecting most of her face. All right.
Oh my God. Anyway, how I do go on.
Anyway, no, it's fine. We have plenty of time. I made it a pretty easy schedule for tonight. So a little bit of red meat, because we do talk about Law and Order a lot. I wanted to show you.
Dun, dun.
This is from Van Nuys. Yeah.
Sorry.
Gangtown.
Plenty of security camera video of porch pirates. What about a porch squatter? A local woman's doorbell cam showing an apparently homeless man who is
that is scary
and refuses to leave. What would you do? Eyewitness News reporter Amy Powell talked to that woman tonight. She joins us live from.
Yeah. What would you do?
Stop laughing and reload.
Well, okay. So this guy has basically camped on this woman's front doorstep. And
let me guess, police are doing nothing because he's not doing anything wrong.
Well, the police have taken him away several times, and then he just sort of wanders back. He's tried getting inside the house a few times, like lazy, disoriented people do. He's just making himself quite comfortable, and but they release him. They don't do anything other than make him leave, and he comes right back like a I don't know, what's the analogy here? Jock itch?
The cat came back the very next day.
Yeah,
that's just
the cat came back. They thought he was a goner, but the cat came back.
I don't know why he's gravitating toward this woman's porch, but you know,
he knows he can get away with it. And look at that seat. That seat's pretty comfy.
Well, I mean, thing one is when the police come and take him away, you know, she needs to get this guy's name and get a restraining order. So at least maybe there's something a little more than what's there.
I think the reason you're having a problem with this is you're not looking at it the right way.
Well, I'm not looking at it as a Texan would, because I know what your solution would be.
No, this my solution is very simple. Why shouldn't he have that nice house to live in? Why shouldn't he get to live in there sometimes?
Probably.
Right? Why should the homeowner who took all the money away so that he could save it up and buy his little home, why should he have his home? Why shouldn't this guy have a nice home too? Why shouldn't he have the homeowner's home?
Well, if he would steal some Amazon packages off of other people's porches, he could probably make a nice little protected area there for himself.
Exactly.
But if they're going to haul him off, other than the restraining order, it's like, I'm trying to figure out, why is that furniture still there? It's like,
that was my next question.
Oh, exactly. Sora knows. Why are you providing a nice seat for this guy?
I follow this Twitter account called Hostile Architecture. And basically it's people posting what their municipalities do to prevent homeless encampments, right? And some of it is pretty mean, but in this particular case, I would say get some really sharp wrought iron metal spokes, cement them into some nice, you can make it very ornate, very pretty, like, you know, modern art-esque. And like giant pigeon deterrents.
Wow.
And electrify it.
Well, I learned something today. I didn't even know there was a thing called hostile architecture. We can do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hostile architecture. Nice.
It's all the, that's what these things. If you most people will have them in their towns.
Wow.
Things to prevent people from skateboarding on them, from sleeping, bus benches that aren't real bus benches. That what we have here, like my local bus benches, what they are, they're a seesaw. So you can sit on them, but it goes back and forth. So you can actually, if you don't realize it's a seesaw seat, I have seen people sit too far back and actually go ass over tea kettle backwards,
Nice.
because it's the idea is that you can't sleep on them, right? Because you can't balance unless you have like core of a god, and yeah, so they're fun, but it's hostile architecture.
Well, it's true. It is helping with their core fitness, isn't it? You were saying core of a god. You mean like literally balancing on that? Wouldn't that be good for just their abs and all of their fine muscle control?
But you have to start with something, you know. Otherwise,
No,
you're
you electrify them. That's what you do.
Yeah. So I think we need, was it Mark Rober, the guy who tortures squirrels and porch pirates and stuff?
I love Mark Rober. I love that channel.
Yeah, that's a pretty good channel. I don't know. I weirdly enjoy watching these videos of people scamming scammers. Like the guy who finds the open Wi-Fi connection and then gets into the video cameras that they didn't change the default password on.
Right.
And so you can actually see the people who are doing the scamming.
Yes. And he says, "Hey, Pradesh, go back over to your desk."
Yeah.
He just called me by my name.
How does he know my name is Shilpa? You know, it's like, I just broke my own rule. I'm not, Harry doesn't do impersonations. Cut it out. Okay. Well, I really do. All these politicians that are running saying we need to empty out the prisons. I would like the prisons to be emptier too, but I would do it a different way. I would try to disincentivize people from going to prison, not just let them out because we think it's okay. And that might involve
that'll never work.
That might involve putting some people in prison for a while just to make a point. Go ahead, Sora. Sorry.
I was going to say, yeah, the prisons will be slightly emptier if you reinstate mental hospitals.
We could do that too.
Because then you'll have the people who should be in an asylum and seeking medical help and treatment, yet are too dangerous to be amongst the society, get the help that they need, versus being in Gen Pop with other criminals.
Well, I suspect this guy may have there might be a mental health component to
or a drug-induced mental health component, but still, it's
maybe I'm gonna say a twofer here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, chicken and egg, but at the end of the day, this is still this woman's property, and she still has a right to peacefully enjoy it.
But
I believe that's in the law as well.
He has the same right to it, though, that she does. Just because she bought it doesn't give her any special rights to her property.
So he has equal rights. Is that what you're saying?
Right. He has equal rights.
He has equal rights. Yeah.
Exactly. She didn't build that. She didn't earn that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, it's as easy as just saying the words.
God, we're a black-pilled group of 4 people, aren't we?
Doing the best we can. Trying to keep everybody's hope alive.
All right. Well, let's see. What else do we have here? So
Mash has a good idea.
Oh, where?
Send them to Martha's vineyard.
Exactly. There's good vineyard jobs there.
Hey,
I hear they're so welcoming and accepting.
Well, let's see. Oh, so there's a new channel. Well, I mean, everybody's probably seen the Brett Cooper thing, which is, this woman. Stop talking. This Daily Wire person who they've got sort of as their youth outreach coordinator. I don't know what to really call Brett Cooper's job, but she does a pretty decent job. I mean, I generally sort of like her, even though she does look weirdly like she might be Ben Shapiro's little sister.
She's a clone that they genetically altered to be female.
Well, I've stumbled across some of her stuff. I guess she was sort of a child actress. And so she's been around for a while, and after she got out of school, she got picked up by the Daily Wire, and she's been doing, I mean, pretty decent sort of stuff. Here's one of her little shorts, just as a sample for anybody who hasn't seen her.
When are we going to start banning MAGA Republicans from establishments?
So, see, she's adding value
If
by
you're wearing
reacting.
the shirt and you're wearing the hat, don't come in my store. Don't come in my restaurant. Kick them out of the bank. I don't care. They're repping it like a gang. And anywhere else, gang violence isn't tolerated. So why is it for them? They're just uneducated
See, she's
white
reacting
people.
really hard. Look at her reacting.
Kick them out.
So you are not only being hateful and spiteful, but apparently you're also bringing race into this, which makes sense because you're obviously a leftist. Somebody said, if you are seeking to ban your political opponents from all establishments, you just might be a fascist. Oh no, don't tell her that, because you know she's...
So, I mean, you know, it's pretty good. She's recycling libs of TikTok content, and now we're recycling her recycling it. So, I mean, it's the circle of life continues. But overall, I mean, she's pretty well put together, and I think she does a decent job. Does anybody hate Brett Cooper?
No.
Masha Hero face. Masha Hero face.
She seems pretty innocuous.
Eh.
I mean, you don't have to like her, but I mean, I certainly don't hate her.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. A lot of commentators, I don't care about them. So it's like, why do I need to listen to you talk about things? Even if you occasionally say the right thing, air quotes, right things, or things that I agree with. It's like, you know, honey badgers. Sure, they talk about some men's issues I agree with. Do I like them as a organization, as people? Not so much. Don't care. Andrew Tate, same thing.
So what's the deal? What's the deal with Andrew Tate? And what is an Andrew Tate? I keep hearing people talk about it.
Just
I
a
honestly don't
kickboxer.
know anything
Who cares?
about this guy. Well,
Just
why
a
are we
kickboxer.
talking about? Why are people talking?
Well,
about Andrew
he said
Tate?
some. He said some.
He's just creepy.
Valid things about you know
Okay.
traditional gender roles and how the dichotomy between men and women exists
So
and
now
has
he's canceled.
existed. And they canceled him over it. So Big
Well,
Tech canceled him over it.
That's
So.
not my problem with him. My problem with him is he has to run to Romania to set up his brothel. And may or may not. And basically getting into the pockets of mob. I don't think he knows what he's getting himself into, but I hope that bites him in the butt. But
Yeah.
it's for me, it's more
that
so
usually bites you in the neck.
yeah.
And in the wall.
It's well known how in Eastern European sex workers aren't necessarily always there because they want to be there, and that's what I don't like about him.
Yeah, but my
Stuff he
point is,
says I don't give a shit about, but the because it's whatever, turn him off, right? Put him on mute and he has no power over you. But like what he's
Amen,
doing, and I
sister.
think a lot of people that I've been hearing, they're commenting more on the creepiness of what he's doing with his call line and the girls and stuff like that versus what he's saying, you know.
We'll say it again. You. But I wanted to
Yeah.
show you there was I guess Prager University, not to be outdone, has their own new little bright youth outreach person. I don't know, I just call them youth outreach people because it's sort of like, well, we've got people that appeal to cranky older folks. We have to get some bright, freshly scrubbed young woman out here to, try to pimp our brand to the younger people, to the TikTok Generation Z. So this is a PragerU's person.
Hello, everybody.
Shut up.
oh God, no!
What?
Oh, her.
What do you mean, oh God,
Oh,
no?
sorry, I thought that was the TYT girl. Sorry.
Yeah, her name is Amala Shemp, and I'm not really, I can't pronounce it, so it's Shemp. I can you pronounce this, Skep? Amala, Ekpunobi.
Hang on, let me get to the right screen.
Obi-Wan
and
Kenobi?
Make this
Kenobi.
big enough so that I can see what the hell this is. Why? What is this? Ekpunobi.
Ekpunobi. Okay,
Yeah,
so we don't have to
Ekpunobi
call her
is
Shemp.
that
Even
one.
I can pronounce that. Thank you.
Right.
So
Ekpunobi.
she actually did something recently, which I thought was a good example of her stuff. Plus, it ties into something we were talking about the other day that I knew nothing about, which is this black queen slave movie thing.
Oh yeah, with
Yeah.
Viola Davis.
Yeah, here's her take on this. I'm just bringing this up because I want to sort of compare Brett Cooper in this one because I'm trying to see who's the winner in who's the better shiny young youth outreach commentator contest. I think it might be Amala.
Viola Davis says that audiences who don't see The Woman King are supporting the narrative that black women cannot lead the box office globally. Apparently, the Dahomey tribe in this movie is going to overcome a bunch of white colonizers who are coming to enslave them.
Say
But
it right.
this movie is an utter rewriting of history as far as the Dahomey tribe. What they left out in the movie is that they in fact were a slave tribe, actively engaging in enslaving their own people and people from other regions in West Africa. The movie plot is white people have only ever enslaved black people. It's never been black people enslaving black people. It has always been the evil white European colonizer. Look, well, Viola Davis, if these are the movies that you come out with, then you can't. Make something better. Make something that's not a complete and utter fabrication to push forth your own agenda. And then
So this is an example of a diversity hire on the right. Sorry, she has no talent. You have no talent, no place being in a position where you have to talk to people and comment on things if you cannot string a coherent sentence together without cutting. Like, oh my god, that was worse than like American action movies.
Those jump cuts were brutal, weren't they?
Yeah, those are some brutal.
My stomach is still churning.
I've seen better of her. I think this just happened to be she probably was ranting and they had to piece together a 60-second
Yeah, but
I've
seen her do more, uncut long form things, and it is a lot of like kind of what we were talking about before the show. A lot of just kind of looking lackadaisically at the camera, trying to piece together a sentence, and it's like you have to, if you want to succeed, or how you should succeed in an industry like this, is you have to be able to continually go and be coherent. You can't just leave thoughts hanging like I'm doing right now. It's not fun.
No.
How is The Woman King doing at the box office?
That's a good
19
question.
mil on opening weekend.
How much did it cost to make that thing?
Exactly.
That's just opening box office.
So I think the old rule of thumb is, what is it, 2.5 or 3.5? Your opening weekend is what your usual sales end up being. I used to be sort of in this industry, and
what the hell was the movie called again?
It was 19.
The Woman King.
So what did you say? What was the number again?
19 million. It cost 50 million to make.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
19.1, but 94% fresh on the tomato meter, and the audience score is 99%. Unbelievable.
That sounds pretty
Verified
great.
fresh. That's just amazing. 94 and 99%. This has a better rating than Return of the King.
Man, this is almost as popular as Joe Biden. This is pretty
Jesus
amazing.
Christ. This is sickening.
That Brandon guy's going places.
Humanity really was a mistake.
Don't think of it's like looking at the sun, Skep. You're just gonna hurt yourself if you think about it too much.
All right.
So in general, which of these two shiny young things do you think is the better commentator?
Well, of which two?
Right.
Brett Cooper and Shemp here. What's her name? Amala.
Amala.
Because Amala sort of does more of original content. It's not as reaction based, and that's kind of the only thing I don't like about Brett Cooper. She's very likable, but it's all reaction.
It's all reactionary, yeah. But I mean, they hit on the same note, just at different times.
I mean, keeping in mind that we are reacting to something. So
have you ever seen Brett Cooper speak extemporaneously, like in a talk setting?
I think so. On
like an interview type thing?
No, like giving a lecture.
Oh, speaking
She's
extemporaneously.
Yeah, she is really impressive.
Oh, good. Well, all of that
Very
theater
impressive.
training did well by her.
Well, she can command an audience.
Good. What were you going to say, Sora?
I was just going to say, I think the whole point of it's the comment section with Brett Cooper. Like that's the point of the show.
Right.
It's for a certain like age demographic, right? So I think that it's a little bit hard to compare compare. They're both like post-secondary, you know, like young people going out on their own kind of thing. But Brett is more pop culture versus Amala's. I think they try to make her more political.
Yeah, I think that's a very fair criticism.
I think it makes it a little bit more difficult to compare them in that sense, beyond the fact that they're like, oh, young girls, you know, white headphones, talking in short form kind of thing.
Soft lights behind them,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, right.
This is totally my room.
Slightly
Welcome.
different purposes.
Come into my crib and let's jam, or whatever you can say now.
I will say I feel that Brett's a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
So that could be something.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I totally want to hear your poetry.
How many volumes do you have?
Brings out guitar. I'm now gonna play Wonderwall.
Yeah.
Oh, I was hoping you'd show me your dream board.
This is the extended version. It's the log version.
God, I'm such an ass. Yeah, I think Daily Wire is doing a pretty good job, and I think PragerU is starting to feel perhaps a little insignificant. They were feeling a little self-conscious, and they felt like they had to do something. And I think they put together a pretty decent effort. But I kind of feel like Daily Wire did a better job on it. Brett is just easier going and more relatable and a lot harder to hate.
And another thing, though, is what's interesting with how they market them. So I remember seeing a short like ages ago with Amala. She's a Democrat who transitioned because she was, I guess, black-pilled or red-pilled or whatever the heck.
She's an apostate Democrat.
Yeah, so that's her big draw. Like, look at me. I am, you know, African American. I'm young. I'm educated, and my eyes got open and whatever. I'm not sure if that's how she marketed it, but that's the feeling, right? Sort of like a less insufferable version of what's her face, from back in the day. What the heck is her name?
Well, it feels like they're trying to make like you said, a less insufferable version of those MTV things they used to have.
But anyway, with Brett, she was sort of her attitude has always been, yeah, I've always been like this. This is like I've always been, whether this is true or not, this is a job after all. Oh, I think Functional's backstage.
Oh, is he? Where'd he go?
He got kicked out.
I have to unbind the F5 as reload when I'm on show. Like, I just click. Yeah.
DEL space system 32. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
That's
what I hear.
Control Shift Delete.
There's no R.
So
in Windows.
I have seen Brett be more on other shows. Like she was on Tim Pool. He's fine, not offensive. You know, whatever. Says the right things. But it just seemed like when there's stuff that she's not pre-prepared to speak on, she really knows nothing about. So it was interesting that, Sora, you mentioned she's like the pop culture kind of person. She knew nothing of the references, nothing of the topic that Tim and company were talking about. And it really that was my first sort of exposure to her. I don't know enough about Amala. I don't know. PragerU kind of never really. I don't know. I like Dennis Prager, but I don't watch their videos.
Well, I subscribe to both of them. I don't necessarily watch everything that they put out, but that's generally true of the hundreds and hundreds of subscriptions.
Well, I really like listening to Prager talk, but more not when he's giving sort of like a lecture type deal, more so when he's sitting down and having a chat with someone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, hey, this is like my wise old grandpa talking to one of his buddies about something, and I'm just sitting there listening in because that's how I see him. I see him as, you know, the wizened old man who has a lot of experience and information he can impart on me. Whether what I want to take more to heart or not, he leaves it up to me. But
Okay.
She won't be a Republican because she's a Republican now.
Yeah. Well, don't threaten me with a good time, Liz Cheney. And also, the thing about Candace Owens is, I still can't get over
Candace
social
Owens.
autopsy. I cannot get over social autopsy.
That's who I was thinking of.
Said it at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Candace
just, well,
Owens. She's less. This chickie here is less annoying than Candace Owens. turned
well,
out
and
to
she
be.
doesn't have the history to hold against her that we know of. The thing
Yeah.
about Candace is social autopsy.
It's just a
But
splash page, bro.
But even
Yeah.
then, between the two of them,
No, it's a whole
What-
website.
what their sort of their personal current story is, oh, I left the left. Amala doesn't seem to harp on it constantly like Candace does to Candace does it to an annoying point. Like she can never not say how she chomps and foams at the bit to want to like tell that story again. It's like, okay, we get it. Okay, we get it. Down, girl.
Yeah.
But you're right. They're trying to soften, get some entry level commentators for younger people. I think it's a smart move. It's definitely a smart move because, as we know, the political landscape does favor younger people on one side, and I'm not talking about all the, funny stuff that's been going on. I'm talking about like engaging in the body politic, and I think it's a smart move for both of them because they're both. Yeah. I mean, as a young hot-blooded man, they're both very attractive too, and that's also a plus.
Well, not just attractive, but pleasant.
No, I don't mean physically. I do mean physically, but I mean entirely their persona.
Okay, man to man here, functional. There are plenty of good-looking women in the world, and then you look at them and think, but I would not want to be alone in a room with this person.
Once they open their mouth,
it's like no, 1,000 times no. I would have absolutely no problem, if I was at a Basque restaurant and I was seated next to either of these women, making polite, non-creepy conversation.
Yeah, just talking
over the course of a shared
or maybe
meal.
just semi-creepy.
Whereas the
really hard not
former,
to be
you'd be
creepy.
like, "Oh, you're a Twitch dot, aren't you? You have an OnlyFans, don't you?"
Yeah.
Because I mean, you have to make it up. Either you can carry a conversation, or you do sex work.
Hey, as long as you've got a good financial planner, I mean, that's a valid strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Just got to remember that, kind of like being a pro basketball player, you better not spend all that money.
I'm not knocking the sex work. Amaranth is actually a very intelligent financial planner because she's investing these millions that she's making off of being a Twitch thought. So, power to you if you can make it work.
Knock
you're
yourself out.
good about it, yeah. I'm not going to date you, but
it's probably a pretty interesting tax return, though. So when the 80,000 new IRS agents start going after the Twitch streamers, it's like, well, here's my receipt for Jell-O. Here's my receipt for my receipt for cleaning Jell-O.
Here's the $69 donation for my handstand.
Yeah. Being a tax collector is going to be so much fun for these people, because they're coming for everybody.
I wonder, is that an Avengers
I
A
believe-
on her neck?
Oh.
Who?
It's
What?
A for her
I'm
initial.
sorry.
Oh, her initials. Right.
What were you going to say, Skep?
Hang on. I'll talk to somebody else. Sorry, I'll be right back.
I just think that would have been super cool, Sora, if she had the Avengers logo on her necklace. I'd be like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
No.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, Chris Evans is dreamy. Okay.
I already know. Elwin already steals my Avengers and Ghostbusters and nerdy shirts, so I'm good on that.
All right. Well, I asked the question. You guys answered it. That's good. So, let's talk about AOC, shall we?
Do we have
AOC faces fierce backlash after comparing Iranian anti-hijab protests to pro-abortion efforts in the United States. Discuss.
Oh, good heavens.
Because they're
Good
totally
heavens.
the same thing, right, Skep?
Oh, I really do think there's someone who is advising her strongly with what to say, because I don't really feel that she is capable of writing some of the crap that comes out of her mouth. I think she really is, honestly, just academically and intellectually deficient.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever tried to listen to her? Try to carry, again, like I was saying with the other two, a sentence just off the cuff? No, it's a train wreck.
Yeah, the interviews are just show her to be, shallow, ill-informed, narrative-driven, and scared of any topic she is, doesn't
prepared for.
have a prepared statement on. She quickly runs and hides. She's just a mess. She's absolute she's a bit of PR fluff. Just a kind of a cipher, a cyborg, an invention she's the glass of water.
She's what happens when an OnlyFans creator becomes a politician.
Yeah, kind of. Pretty much Twitch thought in Congress. That's the mentality, in my opinion.
A completely unself-aware joke.
Yeah, absolutely, completely unself-aware. My God.
This was Iran before the revolution.
Back when they actually started becoming a free nation.
Before the Shah took over,
they were poised to become an intellectual and dynamo and a center of commerce.
They were awesome. They were going to be awesome.
They were. They really could have been.
They were completely on the up and up. They were skyrocketing compared to their peers.
Yeah, it's actually worked out pretty well in some ways for the U.S. I have worked with a number of people who, Persians basically, who left Iran at this time and came to the U.S. and started businesses. And I've met some really amazing people because of that. It's been very good for
you and me
personally.
Yeah, me too. Me too. A few of them came here, and I studied with them, and they were great.
Yeah, but let's just destroy all of this. Let's destroy all of that. And
from what I've read and researched and watched about what take it with a grain of salt kind of attitude, but what might have happened behind the scenes from the Mossad and the CIA is completely disgusting. It breaks my heart to see if any or all of that is true, just how badly they hurt this country and its people.
Well, I'm almost surprised, given the way that AOC's mind works and the kind of people that she runs with, that she's almost willing to admit that the hijab is oppressive. Because, in the culture, the progressive stack, for the longest time, they were almost saying, well, no, but here in the West, you'll be discriminated against for wearing the hijab. So the hijab is a symbol of freedom and goodness and whatever. And it's like, no, I'm old enough. I remember that Iran was this amazing place before it all went to crap. You can't lie to me about what the hijab is. It's like, if somebody lives here and they want to wear a hijab for religious reasons, knock yourself out. Freedom of religion is one of our core principles. I have no problem with it. I'm not your enemy. But the idea that every woman who wears a hijab is somehow expressing their freedom, that's just bullshit. And it's bullshit because I can remember how to type Iran pre-revolution into YouTube, and it's pretty easy to find this stuff. And I've talked to the people who got driven out of that country, so don't lie to me. But AOC actually seems to have realized that what's going on in Iran is oppression. So maybe the progressive stack changed when I wasn't looking at it.
Well, there was a big viral video from this week of a woman, I believe Iraq, where she was the big story of them burning everything and they took the woman away.
Mm-hmm. She just sort of disappeared.
Yeah, just disappeared. So, I mean, she's dead. They killed her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether they tortured her or other things is, Yeah.
That's the kind of thing that we here in the West protect. If you want to, have at it. Do whatever you want. It's not affecting me. Do whatever you want. But the seconds, under penalty of law or death or whatever, whoa, we're going to have some fighting words.
Yeah, but there are people that are traditional who wear various religious garments for religious reasons.
Yeah, if you want to look like a letterbox,
knock yourself out. I just don't want the police of vice and virtue driving around in their little unmarked cars, grabbing people off the streets, throwing them into vans, and disappearing them.
And it's the same for anything and everything.
But kind of not the same thing as a Roe v. Wade being overturned in the U.S. As equivalencies go, this one seems particularly false.
Except the only thing I can see to draw a connection to the two is that they were both bad law. Forced head coverings and Roe versus Wade were both bad law.
Well, the whole, I mean, I don't want to read
making a bad law joke.
The whole Roe v. Wade thing, but I've actually noticed a number of people that I've spoken to in here in California. There's a shift going on. A lot of people are starting to, in various subtle ways, reject a lot of the progressive BS. I'm seeing it firsthand, and I'm just kind of like, well, what took you so damn long? But it is surprising me to see that this sort of stuff is starting to shift a little bit. But anyway, enough about me. I just wanted to mention that AOC's an idiot, like, in case anybody had forgotten. But she said something that we were talking about kids and immigration and that sort of thing the other day, right, Skep? And I think the whole question of, well, what should we do about it came up, and you were talking about net migration.
Yeah,
well, so AOC made a comment along those lines. I want to play it so we can talk about this briefly. Let's hear what AOC has to say. Oh, it'd probably be better if there was actual sound. Okay, hold on.
Well,
Blind Press is here. Blind Press, hi.
Hey, BP.
Hello.
Feel free to throw her the link.
BP, you're yeah, if you want the link, let us know. You're a strong woman, dude. I've been trying. I've been trying so hard. It's so awful.
You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Interesting
trying to fill the air.
Birth rate in America and how things like Social Security and Medicare work. Listen to this.
But there are quite a few countries that are really struggling because young people, because under the burdens of capitalism and living under a society that's increasingly concentrating wealth among the rich, we're not having kids, or we're not having kids at the same rate. We actually need immigrant populations to help balance things out. We can't continue to fund Social Security, Medicare, all of this stuff without immigrants. And it's always been that way.
I believe, accidentally possibly, she's actually expressed the viewpoint of the people she represents accurately, because this is a viewpoint that a lot of people have. Not me. But this is... that was actually surprisingly coherent for her in terms of her saying the thing that other people say, right? Now, I take issue with that, but I want to go to Skep on this, because that's pretty much what we were talking about the other night, wasn't it? I mean, she hit all the high points.
Yeah, it's classic lefty dogma, essentially. That's all she's capable of reciting. These are not her thoughts. These are things that just have been planted on her. She's a complete invention, a cipher. She's like cotton candy.
She's an empty
vessel.
vessel.
Water on her. Yeah, she'd melt away.
Puppet. She's Pinocchio. Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
No, I do. I mean, I can give her that I appreciate that she identifies the problem, but then she takes that little nugget, that kernel, that seed, and hits it with a truck, and I'm just like, no, you lost me. Sorry. No. That's never learn history, see what that's done to other great nations, great countries, great empires. Looking at you, Roman Empire, and how devastating that sort of philosophy, that solution was for those nations and those communities. Don't even. And it's not. Oh, okay. But capitalism. Hello. Is it capitalism's fault? Because what's happened to increase that transfer of wealth and destroy the middle class and that divide between middle and the wealthiest, that wasn't capitalism. That was something else. I believe you work with some of these people. Ask them about
it. She's basically making the argument that if it was cheaper to have kids, more people would have kids. And honestly, I think the harsh reality of it is that people who want to have kids are going to have kids, and people who don't want to have kids aren't going to have kids. Now, you can move the needle a little bit on certain things, like you could look at some of the disincentives that men face. I was thinking about it. I don't want this to turn into like a MGTOW show. I really don't want to do that. And then I thought, well, I don't think that the availability of sperm is the problem.
No.
I don't think looking at men's motives in all of this, maybe if you're talking about fatherlessness, okay, then it matters, right? All of the disincentives that men have in terms of the way the law is set up, right? Because there's just a lot of risk you're taking on if you decide to make a kid with somebody. However, availability of sperm, not really the issue. If women want to have kids, they can go out and have kids. But she's just talking about like the pyramid scheme of Social Security and all these other things, that we need to bring in people from other countries so that they can pay employment taxes to keep Social Security running. Every problem that government creates, she thinks that government is going to fix by creating, this time for real. This time we'll get it right. We're not going to just completely, cock up the solution that we're trying to come up with to the problem that we created, that we were told not to create, but we did anyway.
Yeah.
So saying I'm going to solve Social Security by having unlimited immigration is like, really? Did you just say that out loud?
What?
Because you realize those people are going to retire someday.
Yeah, but I found out from my math teacher that all you have to do is change the sign.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do, and then everything's okay.
Numbers are just a social construct.
I believe there's a term for that. Starts with human, ends with affiking.
Well, Europe has been trying to deal with this for a while, right?
Yeah.
I remember about 10, 15 years ago, there were ads in some Scandinavian countries where they were saying, hey, why don't you go get busy and make more little Scandinavians? And the government in some places was even willing to help pay for your weekend sex getaway with your partner. I mean, they were really leaning into the idea of let's get our numbers up. And then at some point they just said, well, this isn't working. People are just buying new stereos and new cars and rims that spin for their cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So then they opened the floodgates and let in lots of they got enriched by immigration, and we can see how well that's worked out in most cases.
I think it's overall one part rat utopia, one part the natural population just sort of, leveling off. It starts to plateau a bit because, with new comforts, new luxuries, people want to invest a little bit more in their being happy, and sometimes that's, buying stuff. But I think the other half is definitely the rat utopia, where you
mouse utopia.
Utopia, thank you.
Yeah.
Where as you get a little bit more pampered and taken care of, you become a little bit more
complacent,
slothful, complacent. Thank you.
Narcissistic, lazy.
Well, that's going more to the extreme.
Well, but that's what happened in the mouse utopia.
Yeah. It went to the extreme. But I'm saying right now it's kind of at that point where people are just becoming a little more complacent and not necessarily going over to that extreme en masse yet. But we're at that place where we have to sort of don't want to enforce it via government, but more by social stigma, not praise, you for being, but kind of, a little bit of social shame, a little bit, oh, you don't have kids? Oh, that's kind of a shame.
Yeah.
Maybe influence others to be like, you know what? I see the joy and happiness that Skep has had with his family. By God, I want a family too. Not to enforce it in a way.
People
it's hard,
living
but I recommend it.
People living well and providing a good example of how something can work. It's like, oh, you started your own business? I'm going to start my own business too. You had a family and all this stuff. I'm going to have a family too. I mean, I'm not telling anybody how they're supposed to
America or the entrepreneur,
how they're supposed to live their life, because honestly, it's not my place. It's not my job. I can't speak to it. It's just not my thing. It's none of my business what people decide to do in terms of how many kids they have. But it is my business, the idea that we should just open the border and let millions and millions of people in every year.
Yeah.
That part is my business, because it's going to be my freaking taxes that's going to have to pay for that entire generation all the way to the, cradle to grave, basically.
And it's not just your taxes, it's everything. It's
And
everything.
what was Sora was going to say something a moment ago? What was?
I was saying that's stupid. Just opening the floodgates.
Just open the borders
and fill up your numbers.
Well, that's the
There's
argument
point.
that she's making. Well,
Yeah.
you'd think that Martha's Vineyard would have loved having the enrichment. Because, they're probably not having a bunch of kids there.
2020. 2022. Martha's
I wonder
Vineyard.
what the racial makeup of Martha's Vineyard is of the property owners there.
Well, there's Mike and Barry.
99.9% white.
Yep.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
It's pretty darn white. If our research department was here, we'd already have these numbers coming up. But Serenity had to take the night off.
Serenity would be on it.
Serenity is missed.
Yep, she is. Oh, Serenity, come back.
Yeah, well, I don't want to belabor this much more, but along those lines, this was a thing that happened.
I truly hate this woman, Skep. I really do.
Somebody needs to let her know that she's not hot enough to be this crazy.
Exactly. She is not in a good segment of the crazy hot chart.
Yeah, she's just in a very undesirable corner of the hot versus crazy chart. You know, and she's got the crazy eyes. I mean, she can't even look at this. The crazy eyes are just there all the time.
Oh man!
I mean, if the eyes are a window to the soul, her soul is crazy.
It's a whirlpool of
that is crazy bitch just waiting to go off. That is the crazy bitch Claymore mine right there.
Well, here's the thing.
Tsunami
Along those lines, this actually there is a thing. So save energy by showering together. Swiss told. Switzerland's environment minister is supporting measures to reduce energy consumption by 15% this winter, and one of her suggestions is that the country's people have showers together. The Times reports Simonetta Shemp, 62, is suggesting people could turn off... Oh, BP's here. Hey, BP, we're just talking about people showering together. Bear with me for a moment.
Oh, no worries.
Okay, the proposal has been met with incredulity in the country, and Miss Shemp has been forced into clarifying that the tip was intended for young people. I like that. Changes it. She's conceded that after a certain age, sharing together is no longer suitable for everyone.
Shemp is wrong. Shemp, you are wrong.
Her name is Shemp?
Okay.
No, it's unpronounceable.
So BP, when I can't pronounce somebody's name, which is often, I just call it them Shemp.
Oh,
Julia
I was gonna say that would be fucking amazing.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
If her name was actually Shemp.
But you know about what was it?
That would be perfect.
It was the Three Stooges, wasn't it?
It was.
The fourth stooge was Shemp.
Yeah.
I thought it was Avery Brooks.
Well, wait, and then well, the Marx Brothers had like a fourth Marx Brothers. So if Shemp is being used, we can use Zeppo as the other one. So if we have two unpronounceable names in one sentence, we can go with Zeppo and Shemp. Yeah.
I like it.
Now, if I may, I think that this is a wonderful solution because, like we were just talking about, this is a two-pronged attack.
Mm-hmm.
First, you shower with them, then you have the babies.
I'm just saying, I'm not sure you're going to save a lot of water. I'm just throwing that out there.
Are we talking about showering together?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a means of saving water and therefore the power to heat the water.
I used to bathe my kids like when we finally got a house with a bathtub. When they were younger, I would bathe them together to save water
and save time.
But now that they're 8 and 5, they each it's like, no, you have your own bath and you leave each other alone. And like me and Pig Hollow never took showers or baths with our kids because we just were like, no, we just feel like that's a boundary that for us we need to have, right? Like, I'm an adult, you're a child, like.
Well, don't they learn how to bathe themselves at some point? I mean, the idea is at the beginning they're useless because
you teach them
and
by
you teach them
watching
stuff.
them.
Right.
Like while you're bathing them, you show them how to wash themselves.
And then you hit age 5, and it's like, okay, you got this, little man, right? Yep,
Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah,
and then
pretty
and then
much, yeah.
and then life.
Get out.
Pretty much, yeah.
Leave me alone. I can do it myself.
Yeah.
They get all weird and fiercely independent.
Yeah.
They couldn't find a Getty image of two people showering together. Have they not heard of OnlyFans?
Well, this did remind me. This did remind me of something that came up a while ago. Let me see if I can get this here.
Exactly, Elwin. As somebody who's raising 2 young kittens right now.
Do you guys
litter time
remember
is-
this Shower with Your Dad
Yes.
Simulator 2015?
What? Shower with your dad simulator? What
Yeah,
the
Shower
fuck?
with Your Dad Simulator.
Oh my god.
The following trailer has been modified to suit American audiences.
What in the actual?
Make it less noisy. Yeah.
Thomas and Magnum.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Lather,
the
scrub. Dad street.
Towel
There
off,
we go.
leather up.
Shower with Your Dad Simulator.
You gotta remember which one's your dad.
Thank God there's
Yeah.
inflation.
What happens when you shower with? Oh.
I love how the music
Oh.
is more intense. What the fuck? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Enduro Dadathlon, select shower. Yeah. Shower with Your Dad Simulator. This was a thing.
You do not want to be showering with a strange dad.
Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah. So we're saving power in Switzerland by people are showering together, because this. I think if you're trying to, this is probably a better solution to the population implosion than it is
Right?
to the saving power.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, this sounds like a good plan. It's just that the wrong government minister made the statement. That's all.
Because let me tell you, when Pincalo gets the text of, you should come join me in the shower, he knows what that means.
There you go. Yeah. Well, that's.
Oh man.
Glad I didn't have to explain that to anybody. Okay. So yeah, but it is really rough there in Europe, because this coming winter is going to be cold and miserable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all kidding aside.
Wait, a cold, miserable winter in Europe?
Well, imagine a cold, miserable winter in Europe where you can't turn the heat up inside.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like, oh, the new levels of misery. This is going to
Well-
suck.
Or the lights might go out suddenly.
Hopefully, if arrogant ass Trudeau calls a snap election and loses, maybe Pierre Poilievre will gear up some of our oil.
Well, they'd have to get it to them. That's the hard part.
That's the hard.
Well, he
yeah,
wants
the
to. He
transmission
thinks
is
that
the
we should
huge
start.
problem.
He thinks that we should have a pipe, like a transatlantic
Pipeline?
pipeline.
A transatlantic gas pipeline? Holy
think-
shit.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah.
I remember during the first Gulf War, I saw a bumper sticker, and I don't think this person was joking, and it said, "Why is our oil underneath their soil?" I'm like, okay. That's a...
Okie dokie.
Alrighty.
That's a very bold statement.
A very America first sort of thing. It's like
Let me explain how this is going to end.
Manifest
expensively.
You got a nice country here. It'd be a shame if someone were to come here and wreck it.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about oil.
Well, yeah. So Shower with Your Dad Simulator. All right. So we have another article here, because I feel we've talked about showering together for long enough. Okay. This from Gizmodo. Following anal bead scandal, chess master
God.
rematch ends in resignation. Okay.
Wait. What does chess and anal beads have to do with one another? I'm very confused.
Okay, well, Elon Musk being the shitlord that he is, did make a comment online. So the 31-year-old Norwegian chess grandmaster Magnus Carlsen, see, not Shemp, I can pronounce that, performed as close as you can to the digital equivalent of a table flip Monday, closing his stream and walking away from his 19-year-old U.S. opponent Hans Niemann on his second move of the first actual match. It's just the latest rogue move in a long series of scandals that have rocked the chess world. Well, there's been accusations of cheating through devices as outlandish as anal beads. The rise of young chess players like Nyman likely has more connection to the rapidly expanding capacity of artificial intelligence and the way players are learning the game just to keep up with the AI Joneses. It was Elon Musk who actually put that story out there, that they were essentially saying they were cheating at chess by using a remote-controlled anal device to send signals about which move the person should take.
It's not the first time this person's been caught. Well, he admitted and was caught cheating when he was 18.
When he was younger, he did get caught cheating because there was like a vibrating thing in his shoe.
Yeah.
It's always the damn shoes.
I also saw an article today, actually, where students, I didn't click on it, but it said that students appear to be writing their essays using AI and getting like A's. And I'm like, what teacher doesn't look at past writing and this writing and go,
the teachers that aren't paid enough every year, BP.
That's not the same as this writing. What the fuck happened here? Like,
well, they were recycling papers for a long time, and there are databases out there that you can take a piece of writing, if you're the professor, and it will say, does this bear a striking resemblance to another paper from a previous year?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But having AI create sort of original papers could certainly be a problem. But in this case, what's happening is these young people are playing against AI programs, and then they're going through lots and lots and lots of openings. So they're looking at the beginning of the game and trying to figure out how to make these openings work by playing against these AI things. And it's making them better chess players because they're able to run through lots and lots and lots and lots of, they just get to just grind on openings. In the past, what you would do is you could have a chess program, which was crap. You could look at books and databases of games that were played in competition, and you learn as much as you can by looking at how other people lost, right?
Which is time consuming.
But they can sit down now with these AI chess programs, which are very, very good. They can beat a grandmaster the majority of the time now.
Yeah.
And just grind on openings, just grind and grind and grind. And it's kind of like when Tiger Woods came around and just started kicking everybody's ass. You know, Chichi Rodriguez is like 3 martinis in after 9 holes. You know, and things are good if you're Chi-Chi, you know, or Greg Norman or any of those old time golfers.
Yeah.
And Tiger Woods showed up and he's like, oh, hey, here, let me show you what a little bit of hard work and dedication means.
Right.
And he forced all those guys to have to get good.
Yeah.
To have to say, okay, my body's a temple. I'm actually an athlete. I know this is a stupid game with a stick and a ball, but I have to actually take this seriously if I don't want Tiger to kick my ass every single time.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, this is what's happening in chess. These young guys are just grinding on these AI things, and it's making them a much better player.
Yeah.
But I think chess is kind of pretty close to being ruined if we're at the point where this is the conversation.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. And not that anybody really cares about chess. I mean, this is sort of like when a lot of people talk about women's sports. It's like, I have no dog in the fight of women's competitive swimming. I didn't care before. We're only talking about it because of this spectacle that's going on.
Right.
And the only reason we're talking about chess is because of Elon Musk tweeting about vibrating anal beads helping some guy win a contest.
Yeah.
It's purely sensational.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that the competitive video gaming scene has and is going through right now with the versus chess. Classic game. I love chess. It is a wonderful tool and a wonderful mental exercise and a wonderful game, but it's still kind of simple in its mechanics.
Yeah.
Not talking the strategy. So for the AI to sort of slowly take over and be able to grind against it hasn't happened in the video game world. And when it does, oh man, the shit is going to hit the fan.
Well, there are already people, like, I remember somebody was mad at Sonic Fox because Sonic Fox.
What is a Sonic Fox? Is this a player?
Yes.
Okay.
He's a fighting game player. But he is diagnosed with ADHD and he takes Adderall. That's his prescribed treatment. Somebody tried to, like last year, because they were pissed off that he beat them. Somebody tried to go after the Esports Commission and say, is it a performance-enhancing drug for somebody to be taking Adderall? And everybody, like, he got ratioed to fuck. Like, everybody was like, yeah, if you're not prescribed it, it is, yeah, but he's fucking prescribed it, you dolt. So, like, that's like saying somebody who takes antidepressants and therefore is able to, like, think properly and function is taking a performance-enhancing drug. Like,
do you remember? I think it was Phelps who got in a little bit of trouble because they found THC in his blood.
Yeah.
So in the case of competitive swimming, I'm fairly sure that cannabis is not a performance-enhancing drug.
They did the same thing to a snowboarder. They did the same thing to a snowboarder in '98.
Yeah, Ross Rebegliati.
Yeah, he
Canadian
won the
gold medal winner.
Yeah, he won the gold, and then he popped for pot, and they were like, "That's a performance-enhancing drug."
And it's gone.
And it's like, was there a chocolate bar at the end of the snowboard run? Because that's the only way that was a performance-enhancing
Oh no.
drug.
Are they learning, Harry? Oh, okay, good.
Like, was it a Twinkie? Like,
he put up a video of this a chessboard, a TikTok video of a chessboard, and there's a woman. She makes a move, and I'm waiting for the cat to like make a counter move, but he just swipes the piece.
That's a great meme. You see, for those who missed the Magnus Carlsen versus Hans Niemann game today, here's a recap. It's just great. That's so perfect.
I have something. I mean, while we're talking about AI, I have something that's. I think it's kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if this is a meme or how I would actually describe this. Let me, if you don't.
First,
mind,
you have to say it right. It's AI.
It's a meme.
It's not even real AI yet.
Okay, here.
You guys want Terminator? Because that's how we get Terminator.
Okay. Right. Let's get sound. We need sound. Okay. So this is a thing that I stumbled across today, and I find it pretty funny. So this is a guy using sort of like AI speech synthesis to prank somebody. So he's got his phone set up around his computer where he's doing the voice stuff.
Oh, God.
We're not hearing it.
No,
Are you hearing it?
No, we cannot hear it. Cannot hear it.
Okay. What is
flag on the play?
What is the damn problem?
The problem is the boomer behind the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that.
I don't see you organizing things.
He's not handy with computers.
Well, I'm Gen X. I just complain about the boomers. That's my lot in life.
Okay, here, we'll do this. We'll do this a different way. Stupid technology. Okay. Add video clip. Son of a bitch. This thing's square in there.
Even though I think technically Harry's Gen X and I'm Gen Y. Hey, you're all boomers.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like that scene from Willow. You're all boomers.
Here, we'll do it this way. I'm loading it into StreamYard since it's not not behaving. All right.
Oh,
StreamYard.
Hello. Hello, Joseph Christo. This is Amazon calling to confirm your purchase of $11,475.76. To confirm
I can
this purchase,
unmute
say
everybody
confirm.
if you want.
To cancel this order, say cancel.
Cancel.
I heard
Please.
you say confirm. Is that correct?
No.
Thank you so much for confirming your order of
I wish I didn't mute all you guys.
$11,475.76.
I don't have
To
that
confirm
money.
your shipping address
I'm
or to
broke.
speak to a consultant, please press 1 now.
Okay. What the fuck?
I still want to do that to somebody.
Yes.
He sounded like he was gonna cry.
He did, didn't he?
Was I the only one who didn't hear anything?
Uh-oh. No?
Did you guys hear
you
it?
might have been. Yes, I heard it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take the sound away from the blind person's channel. Just so she could just sit there in silence and not hear anything.
Giggle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh no.
It has to do with we've run into this before.
Yeah, it has to do with everything sucks.
Is it because it's a
No.
She's on a jobs machine.
I'm on a jobs machine.
Oh, huh.
Hey, Unix is a good thing, man. I don't
Technically,
even use
it's
the
now a Wozniak machine, but
yeah. So anyway, that
and
was
he
fun.
sounds really weird.
Who what?
Actually,
Wozniak sounds really weird.
Yeah.
I've actually spoken with Wozniak. He bought. I was doing some order fulfillment for a customer a long time ago, and got this order in from Steve Wozniak for one of everything, and I thought clearly this is bullshit. So I actually called the phone number there, and Wozniak picks up the phone, and I'm like, don't. I figured it had to be like a scam or something, and he's like, oh no, I bought one of everything. Yeah. Okay, sir. Those in the mail today. Have a nice day.
No, I actually bought one of everything, and God, he sounds like such
that's my
a
one
robot.
exchange with Woz.
That's pretty cool though.
Well, he answers
Yeah,
his
that
own
is
damn
cool.
phone. I mean, for a while I had Wozniak's private phone number. So
Cool.
let me tell you about this business idea I have. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a thing. Asking the public to name a probe to Uranus may have been a mistake.
Yes.
They decided to put out one of those internet poll things where people could suggest
Was
a
probing
name for
McProbe
this new
face
probe.
number 1?
Probing McProbe face should have been number 1. A space exploration enthusiast account on Twitter asked the internet to name an upcoming mission to the planet Uranus in what almost feels like a setup for a punchline, considering the public's endless interest in potty humor and butt-related puns.
Joseph
Yes.
R. Biden probe.
It went mildly viral in a hail of scatological references. This seems like the perfect time for Astroglide to sponsor space exploration, one user suggested, referring to a popular brand of personal lubricant. I mean, Astroglide, it's there. I mean,
Astroglide.
Yeah,
exactly.
Direct.
It's
direct
easy.
tie-in.
Operation Butt Plug, another
That's
user
easy.
preferred. You're
Butt
really
plug.
asking the internet to name a probe going to Uranus, one outraged commenter asked. So, jokes aside, there are serious implications of this kind of humor. I truly do worry that it will make it difficult to actually get a mission to study this planet, because I think that NASA would be sensitive to these headlines. Prominent Space Science Institute and Planetary Society astronomer Heidi Hamel told Futurism last year, and sensitive to all the ridicule that they would get if they wanted to get a mission to this planet. Oh, Dr. Heidi. I
Oh,
remember
go
her.
grow a pair of balls.
I used to kind of have a crush on Dr. Heidi. She was at the Space Telescope Science Institute, and I remember when the first Hubble things came out, they had the typical table with boffins and scientists lined up along it, and then all the press
Many
people.
boffins died.
And the chief spokesperson was Dr. Heidi Hamel, and I remember having a little crush on her back in the day. Anyway, enough about me.
I'll Heidi.
I've got the perfect probe name.
Okay, yeah. What do you want to call it?
Hamill.
Yeah.
The Rocky Road.
The Rocky Road.
I all seriousness, I think because they're starting this project, they should, do the honor of this man who's probably not going to be around much longer and name it the Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. probe.
We want it to find the planet. We don't want it to end up in the wrong place. It's not like you can stop an
wrong hole, fool.
It found
wanted
to go to Jupiter.
Ended up at Neptune. It's like the same. Nice. It's the same thing. One gas giant.
I'll be happy to get past the belt.
Yeah, well, then the jokes would basically be that Joe Biden couldn't find his own anus or something like that.
Wrecked him. Damn near killed him.
Damn straight.
So, slightly off topic, but on topic, because I looked Heidi Hamill up. She...
Are you going to shame me for saying I used to have a crush on Heidi Hamill?
No.
Okay, thank you.
I really like her because she did a print interview regarding the book A Wrinkle in Time, which she read on her 10th birthday. And it's a very nice interview.
Only on the she read it the entire day. Oh, good for her.
Well, you remember all those great Hubble images when they first came out. She was the person that they trotted out to talk about it. And she was so excited, because for her, it's like all those years of becoming a scientist and all the hard work and thankless days. And now I get to stand up in front of the world and show off my pretty pictures, that it's taken me decades to produce. And she was all shiny and enthusiastic. And that's kind of what I liked about her.
You know what I wish I could see is the James Webb stuff.
Yeah.
That makes me
Elon's
sad.
working on something for you.
Whenever I see new news articles, this photo was captured by James Webb, I'm like, oh.
That's why Professor Farnsworth is way ahead of his time, BP, because he made the Smelloscope. And that was an all-inclusive telescope.
Mm-hmm.
You could smell the universe.
I want to take that to the beach.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
What were you going to say, Skep?
Well, I was going to say one of the things you can appreciate without about the James Webb Telescope is how much more efficient it is at gathering images than Hubble is. I mean,
it's gathering tax dollars.
That too.
No, that's both. The funny thing about that is that the Department of Health and Human Services spends NASA's annual budget every 3 weeks.
That doesn't surprise me.
Okay, so just so people can get a sense of proportion. Okay, so we say, "Wow, we made big cuts at NASA. We're saving a bunch of money." No, you're not. You're not even saving a microscopic amount. But anyway, so
Anyway. It shows you the difference in technology 30 years can make and how wonderful our species is.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about why a probe to Uranus actually matters.
Where?
Uranus.
Whatever.
Potato.
The
planet just beyond Saturn.
Say it, Frenchie.
The sideways planet.
Yeah, well, it's because it is sideways. It would be really interesting to know what happened to it. A lot of how the solar system works and why we're not dead has to do with the job that the gas giants do in terms of stopping stuff from coming into our solar system and annihilating us.
Yep.
Jupiter in particular does a really good job of just generally keeping things nice and orderly. He's a good little traffic cop. Now, I mean,
it's the solar system Stacey Abrams.
Jupiter did basically probably annihilate that one planet that used to be between Mars and Jupiter. But little collateral damage.
But could you imagine if Jupiter had not been there to absorb Shoemaker Levy 9?
Oh, yeah, that would have been the suck.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
But because it sucked in that planet and all that debris, Harry, we get such wonderful moons like Io and Europa.
Yeah, no, Jupiter and the other gas giants do an incredibly good job. And again, this is why Pluto is not a planet, because its orbit intersects with Neptune and Neptune's boss.
Well, and it's too small.
Hate facts.
I know, hate facts. Pluto did nothing wrong.
We need to
Pluto's
cancel
too
Harry for
small.
hate speech.
No, I'm with Harry. Pluto's too small.
Yeah.
There's 2 to the gulag.
Size matters not. Judge me by my size, do you?
Yeah, Pluto.
I've got a T-shirt with a representation of Pluto looking sad, and the caption is, "Don't worry, Pluto. I'm not a planet either."
Just
Oh,
for
that's
that,
cute.
Harry, you're getting Bliathcat. Bliathcat
My
Leroy is
grandkids got me that shirt, by the way.
Yeah, so I'm showing a picture of. Well, you say it, Sora.
Dear NASA, your mom thought I was big enough. Signed Pluto.
All right. So last
I'd
week
wear that.
we looked at what was it? 1930s dating tips for women.
Oh,
boy,
God.
did we.
Oh,
We did.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So this week I have something a little different. I mean, you can't really top that, but this week we
You
have
could try.
from Cosmo 2017,
Oh, boy.
guys revealed their 13 turnoffs and they're pretty brutal.
Oh,
Not sure-
Cosmo.
not
Oh,
sure-
no.
Wait. Read the subheadline.
Not sure why, but piercings came up a lot.
Wait, is it butt piercings or butt piercings? I don't know.
Let's
find out.
1T. Yeah, let's find out. So, they were saying number 1 was smoking. That like a lot of guys were really pissed off by smoking. I don't know. I see plenty of guys that just don't care about that.
I think it's a lot prevalent, at least in my generation. If the guy didn't smoke and then she did, that was a huge no. But the other way often did happen. Like he would smoke, but she wouldn't. Just watching some of my peers in their relationships, it was weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's number 1. That seems.
Yeah, it was number 1. And then the second
Yeah.
one, and this was the thing, as I was looking at another story for last week, I was trying to see the whole, like, do you guys have an issue with the woman being 600 pounds? And I couldn't find any of all of these surveys that they had, just completely avoided the issues. Like, this is the thing that we will not talk about. I see people all the time, who kind of hook up, and people come in all kinds of different shapes and sizes. I kind of see it as not being a problem, but apparently the being unhealthy thing was another big turnoff. But the ones that I start to understand are like fussiness. Like, I've long felt that a piece of advice that I got from a friend of mine, and she said, never date a woman who's a picky eater. And I've sort of been watching for that, and I think she might actually be onto something. The being overly fussy
4.
thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird on the back of number 2, because the last quote is, "I don't know why, but a girl who can't eat a damn vegetable kind of irks me."
I haven't run into these women. Maybe it's just because I've been in California and everybody here.
No, I haven't either.
It's like, even if we don't
I've
eat
run into
healthily
guys
all the
like
time.
that.
I think.
Oh, guys who basically have to posture to pretend to be healthier than they are.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
that they're like, I don't eat rabbit food. It's not gonna kill you. No. I don't eat. I mean, and not as a joke, because like we all joke like, "Ugh, salad," when we have to.
Yeah.
When you've been eating poorly for your health for a while, and you have to. That's one thing.
Yeah.
But to genuinely, I eat meat and potatoes. That's all I eat. Like, okay, well, that's
really
gross to me.
But the weird is that they
Please.
sound like they're almost proud of it.
No, that's the thing. They're proud of it.
That's
and you're
absolutely
like, that
fine.
is such
That's
a turn off.
Sora, if you can, you need to supplement with vitamin C. Other than that, you've got your full vitamin and nutrient complement.
And
the only thing you're missing really is enough vitamin C.
We're talking about women here, not men.
People
So
anywhere. where you can't go, you can't enjoy all sorts of niche restaurants, you can't go traveling, you can't do anything because that's all they want to eat, and there's so many places where that's not available. So
go
have
to the
fun
Brazilian
with other people.
steakhouse one
Yeah,
more
I
time.
understand the type of guy you're talking about, where they use it as sort of like that badge of machismo, as opposed to that's just your dietary choice.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm that guy. I like
feel
meat and potatoes, and that's pretty much it. But I'm not
but I know
above
you talk about
flaunting
food.
it. But I do other things. I eat other things.
Right.
And I think number 3, picky eaters, is more indicative, especially when it comes to women. Again, just from my personal experience, in that usually is a telltale sign of somebody who's a little too high maintenance overall. And I think you can probably say the same for men. There are some men who are just.
Oh, I don't think that most of these are really specific to women, honestly, just to be clear. But this is
No,
a
but
woman
the numbers
gathering
shift.
the data.
Yeah.
Well, they say
polls
no,
shift a little
no
bit.
life
The same
goals.
things show up. Yeah.
Well, in the case of the no life goals thing, I do think there's a little bit of a split. Okay, because it's pretty rare for guys to try to take women and go do the full My Fair Lady Henry Higgins thing on them. I've seen plenty of instances where women will find a guy who's got good basic fixer-up material, and they will motivate them to become the person that they wanted originally. I've seen this happen plenty of times, and Sora's laughing. You know what I'm talking about. These women will get these fixer-up guys and then try to turn them. Yeah, I can work with this. Oh yeah, he's doing. How's he doing? You know, how's Ricky doing? Oh, he's doing great. He's going to night school. Oh, okay. Not kidding.
Can I read number 4?
Yeah, if you want.
Apparently, not having any goals is an instant boner killer. No, quote, no ambitions, write music, research biology, play soccer. I don't care. Just do something to make yourself interesting, this guy posts. I think that sums it up really well.
That is so important to me.
Well, if you're looking for a relationship instead of a hookup, you need to have something to talk about. So it's like, please be interesting in some way.
Yes.
You don't have to be the world's best at something. You just need to make a freaking effort.
Passion
We like that.
About
exactly.
Because we won't try to fix them up. I don't really see guys try to take women and remold them, because we know from experience that doesn't work.
With gear?
The reactance is pretty high. So
pretty woman.
You don't do that to women. If you don't like a woman the way she is, you shouldn't. No. You're not going to change people. At least maybe I'm being blackpilled. Excessive boozing. Again, I think this is only a problem if the two people have differing appetites for alcohol.
Yeah.
Skep may have an opinion about this. I mean, obviously there can be just two people getting drunk and being codependent, and that's not good. But in terms of whether somebody wants to be with somebody, a teetotaler with somebody who drinks a lot all the time, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
They'll figure that out on the first date or so that won't ever be a problem.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I would think. I don't know.
You know, depending on how much you drink and, you know, what part of, alcohol plays in your life, it really can have a major effect on, you have to be well balanced that way. One of the, worst mistakes I made was to marry a drinking buddy. And, that's just, it was doomed from the start. Anyway, make a long story short, that can certainly. And if somebody is having a problem with it, if somebody has a genuine problem with alcohol, it's been my experience that they tend to go downhill. They don't get better from that. And as they go downhill, they get more antisocial, more reactive, more prone to failure. They start failing more, faster, harder, and, falling down more and more. Yeah. It's something to keep your eye on. If the booze is a problem, it's probably the number one problem in a relationship.
I would say that it's not just booze. You could abuse anything.
Well, yeah, and that's symbolic for any addiction, gambling. You
could abuse, CBD gummies.
Bulimia.
I mean,
right, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's just a question of perspective. I've seen pretty darn successful relationships built upon a pair of people both being interested in either bourbon or wine or something. And wine's great because it's like, oh, what's your vacation going to be? I'm going to go to this other place, and my destination vacation is to drink expensive wine with the person I love over there in this other place. So you get the spa weekend, you get the travel, you get the bonding, you get the whole deal. You get to buy stuff there and have it shipped back to your house. And then they ship the glasses, and then you've got your little I know. You've got your little commemorative wine glass from the trip. So you get the whole package.
Yeah.
And I don't see how that's necessarily a bad thing. I've seen like venophiles basically hook up and do pretty well, but these are like high functioning social alcohol drinkers, not people that are getting liquored up all the time.
It's not like Harry and Tina are going and Tina's like in the picture, like chugging a bottle, 2 magnums, double fisting, while Harry's sitting there going,
Well, to go out and get drunk or stoned or whatever on Saturday night, and then every Sunday you're supposed to go to brunch or something, but then one of the 2 people can't bother to get their shit together to go. That's going to kind of wear a relationship down pretty quickly. So, when a person's
platform too.
Well, but if a person's addiction makes it so that you can't count on them for the little things, you're not going to be able to count on them for the big things.
Addiction is one thing, vice is another. Like I was about to say, cross-platform. Elwyn and I don't really like to drink. Once, twice, 3 times a year, we'll have a little 2 fingers of scotch. But she likes wine. She likes beer. I got no problem with that, because what my vice is, I obviously like to smoke. And it works for us.
Well, the next one is poor grammar.
Yeah. You don't want somebody with poor grammar. You want somebody with a wealthy grandmother.
Yeah.
Dead joke.
Yeah, I think the poor grammar thing, I think it's because I'm fancy and I live kind of a fancy life, that I'm generally not surrounded by people with poor grammar. So I'm trying to imagine how this would be a problem, because I haven't really experienced it.
It's the younger generations who are using the apps more. Those kids and their apps. And the
problem also is if you have good grammar, is knowing when to correct somebody and when not to.
And when to shut the fuck up.
Because sometimes it doesn't matter, and you just need to it's annoying.
Yeah.
But
actually,
just shut up, right?
Yeah.
Just shut up.
Then
you'll be a lonely person if you don't.
Right. You're right. No, you're right. One of the things that just frustrates me to no end with the latest generation is that they've stopped using adverbs.
Yeah.
They don't use descriptive words ever as modifiers for adjectives or verbs.
Nope.
That end in the letters ly.
We have to go to Lollies and get some adverbs. Very important.
Lolly, 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 put your adverbs here.
I didn't know if they still play. I had a bad feeling that nobody would know what the hell I was talking about, because Skep's too old and everybody else is too young.
My mother raised me on Schoolhouse Rock. My mother was the generation that grew up with Schoolhouse Rock, but she raised me on Schoolhouse Rock. That's how I was able to do my math, my times table so well.
Well, we've got swearing is the next one.
Oh God! Really?
I guess it just depends. It just depends on how good she is at swearing. If she was able to swear like some English people, like I've definitely interacted with some English people that's like they've got that swearing thing down, and with the accent, it's like, oh, you're just adorable.
Inglorious peoples of a Republic of Kazakhstan, women like to swear.
Let's go save some water. Just say more of that.
You fucking muppet.
But if it's somebody who just swears because they don't know what the right words are, or because they're trying to cover for their poor grammar,
I've heard those people on the bus where "fuck" is the every other word.
Yeah.
Fuck has become their adjective.
It's basically it's Smurf for them at that point.
Yeah, it is. You're like, okay, you do know there are other words in the English language, right?
I'm good with this one.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so swearing, we all admit this is kind of a problem, but maybe not the end of it. Piercings, basically all piercings.
Disagree.
Oh.
Wow, the men of Reddit really get their knickers in a twist when a woman takes control of her own body. They especially hate
Okay.
nose and septum rings.
Agree.
I don't think that it's a women taking control of their own body thing.
Well, remember, this
I
is from
think-
Cosmo, so...
Okay, well.
Yeah.
But I think it's an appearance thing. I think, like, the septum thing, it's like, where can I hook up the horse to the bull? The you know what I mean? Like, where can I hook
Facial-
you up to the stable ring? You know, like...
Facial
But
seems to be a big one.
Yeah,
for ears.
but if you've got like ear piercings, or if you have a very subtle stud, and maybe on one of your nose, or like if you have, and I mean like in the nostril. I don't mean like in the septum. I mean like if you've got a very small stud. There.
Even that, I'm not a fan. It's not a deal breaker. But I'm not a fan.
No.
Well, back when I was waiting tables, putting myself through school, there was this older gentleman who would come in, and he was one of those guys that was very successful with the ladies. I mean, he was like 70 something, and he had like this little tiny diamond stud in his nostril. And all of the women, the older women with the blue hair, would come over and just try to chat him up, and they were all quite taken with his little tiny diamond stud.
Peacocking.
Sorry?
It's peacocking. It's something that you normally don't see, but it's like, hey, flashy.
Well,
even though it's very small.
I honestly, this is my... Well, I should probably give Sora a chance to say something before I give you my nuclear hot take on this. If you want.
I don't want to offend anyone. I'm kind of with the piercings to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I hate gauges. I don't like when people stretch their earlobes out.
Oh,
no. I've never seen, even on the most beautiful or handsomest guy, it's a turn off.
Oh,
that's where my line is.
That's
and because I know they can be subtle, they can be small, they can be large, they can be stupid looking, but
they're always bad.
And I'm sorry because I know it's a specific look, but I just
come along, Gromit. Just
right,
Gromit.
No, Sora, I'm with you.
Attach the lead there.
Exactly. The gauges are bad.
And I have 3 piercings in each of my ears, so I have nothing against, and I would go for more, except for the fact I don't want to pierce my cartilage. I'm scared of keloid, so I don't want that to happen. But that for me is the ugh.
Well, I've bought some very nice earrings for nice ladies in my past who had pierced ears. So I mean, clearly I'm okay with that. But okay, here's my nuclear hot take. I think that when you get into the more extreme piercings, you are trying to send a signal. I think it's sexual signaling.
I agree.
I think that in the competition that people have to sort of get the best of the available dating pool, it's just a way of letting the other person know, I'm game, I'm down, I have a high pain threshold, whatever message you're trying to send. The point is you're trying to stand out from the rest of the crowd. And so the tongue piercing, is obviously, there's implications to that, but all of the other type of stuff, you're trying to just say, I don't know. I have durability. I'm not a.
No, I think you might be right on that.
I don't wilt easily. I think it's a signaling thing.
I actually don't even give them that much credit, Harry. These are people who just want to be different, want to be noticed, but they don't want to do any of the hard work that it takes to distinguish themselves in an ordinary field of endeavor. Of just being good at anything. And so they say, well, I'm going to get the glory and the happiness and the happy brain chemicals that people get from being noticed just for looking weird, looking strange.
Yep.
I really think that's a lot of it. Anyway.
Well, don't some people get endorphins from some of the more extreme piercings, just getting them put into?
Absolutely.
And you can mentally wrap your head around, making it a win-win-win situation, I think.
There are some women who get their down there pierced.
The little man in the boat.
And they will orgasm. And
Wow.
I cannot imagine orgasming while having a needle driven through my little man in the boat, as you said.
Yeah.
But hey, that's just me.
That's just you being a bigot.
You're just being closed-minded.
Right?
I think this one and leading into the next one is still, although
Tattoos
we've been
is the next
exposed
one.
to it, tattoos. Although we've been exposed to them, I think it's still a little bit more niche than we think, because we're so hyper exposed to this Instagram star or that YouTuber who has, all these piercings and tattoos. And like it says under tattoos, especially large tattoos, according to this chap. And that's the key. Like, sure, if she's got a little butterfly on her back, I'm turning to Elwin.
Like the giant,
but like if she's got like
chest
yeah,
pieces, or like the big back plate,
or especially
or like
something that is
sleeve.
not just like the piercings thing, BP. Something that's easily hideable in polite company. You don't want a face full of facial piercings, just like you don't want a neck tattoo and my name over her eyebrow. Like, I mean, no, come on. If you want to have a little something here and there where you can hide it with your shirt or your pants or whatever, that's fine. But I don't need an arrow pointing to down there or the
sign. This is property of the zoo.
Property of the zoo.
They stamp them when they're small.
Or like on Amy Schumer's, it says "Warning: Barnyard ahead."
I think was it Dimitri Martin, the comedian, once made a joke about tattoos, and he said, "When I'm thinking about tattoos, I think about people get bigger and skin stretch as they get older. So it's like I would want something like a bag of groceries. So as I get older, the people go, that's a really full bag of groceries."
And then inflation takes hold.
Sorry, I butchered that joke pretty badly. But yeah, Dimitri Martin's a funny dude.
He is.
Sora wants to say something, I feel.
Yes.
Go.
To get back on the judgy train, I think tattoos work when it's a very good-looking person. Just gonna put it out there.
I mean, if you're dating Johnny Depp and you're a supermodel, you can get away with it.
If they're attractive, I find the tattoos nice. If they're not attractive, and this is subjective to personal attractiveness, I'm like, ugh, that's a bad choice.
Well,
though there are certain tattoos that are nicer than others, like the ones who get the like basically they look like, what are they called, flash books? Those books that like, this is my art, like the tattoo artist style.
Carry your
like
etchings with you.
Yeah, so they look like a portfolio of random artists with little bits of pieces here and there. There's no cohesiveness to it. I'm like, okay, well, you have finite space and you chose that. That's interesting. Because I've seen some beautiful artwork on people. I wouldn't want it on my body, but at least it's a beautiful piece that was
you can admire it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get my first tattoo. Like, I am bound and determined that I will have at least one tattoo. And the tattoo I want is a motorcycle, and on the side of the motorcycle, I want a little studio microphone and a little computer mouse. And those are going to represent the 3 people that I lost in the last 3 years. My uncle and my cousin and Irate.
Yeah. I was just going to get the periodic table of the elements tattooed on my chest, but reversed so it would be easier to read.
I was
Wait a second, you did it in a mirror.
I was just going to get the lanthanides and the actinides.
This next one makes me want to retch.
Just the noble gases.
Well, the next one is...
Those are the two that are broken out on those.
Because we do have to let Skep go to sleep at some point. 10 is being unfunny but also laughing too much.
Living proof here that women cannot win. Quote, no sense of humor. And on the other end, a terrible sounding laugh. End quote. Don't laugh at all, and you're boring. Laugh like no one's watching, and you're turning me off. Yeesh.
Laugh like Fran Drescher, and then maybe
laugh like Janice from Friends.
I mean, it's true, but like anything in moderation. You don't want to be laughing at somebody when they, or trip on the curb hysterically, but also going. It's not going to be a turn off.
Do you remember the episode of Seinfeld where Jerry was like really into the one girl, but he couldn't stand her laugh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Jerry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dennis.
Yeah, like Janice, exactly.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it can be a problem, but you definitely want somebody with a sense of humor, but you don't want somebody that just laughs like a complete idiot all the time. That could be a bit of a deal breaker. Despite the whinging, since it's Cosmos, setting that aside. So the next one is interrupters.
Huge.
I don't like to interrupt people, but sometimes, if somebody's talking for minutes at a time, you're hoping that it sounds like there's a period, and you're going to get in there between the sentences, and you do the best you can, and then you have to apologize a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very bad at interrupting, especially like with Pink Hollow, and I get into arguments, but there are some times where like he'll get off on a tangent that's like completely like he's misunderstood something and he's going down a road that's wrong, and I'm like I have to interrupt him.
Yeah.
Because he's like
almost interrupted you.
If he keeps going, he's just gonna make himself.
I was wondering when this
upset.
would turn
And it's-
recursive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway.
I think that just happens when you're in a relationship. I mean, this specifically is more about like the dating.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to have that sort of polite back and forth to get to know somebody, if they're constantly interrupting you and constantly talking about themselves, again, that's a big flag of a larger problem of they're just a narcissist. And it's like,
enough about you, but let's
on the
talk about
play.
me now. Let's talk about me. We haven't talked about me for minutes. Let's talk about me and the things I care about.
Right.
Have we talked about me recently? Yeah, thanks. That's awesome.
I think this was the Harry channel or something.
Exactly.
One of the great things, just to break the fourth wall for a second, about this show, all kidding aside, is that the participants talk to one another and respond to one another and seem to...
And we never interrupt each other.
Have a genuine interest in what the other person has to say, why they're saying it, and capable of showing empathy, understanding, toward each other's point of view. I think that's one of the things that it makes something interesting to other people, because those are values and principles everybody can identify with. I don't know. What do you think?
Totally. Well said.
I would agree.
Well, I'm always thinking about what the perfect format for this show would be. And I can tell you the perfect show, in my opinion, is 5 questions that take about 20 minutes to discuss.
Yeah.
And now, if I was going to make the perfect show, the show that I would ultimately want to make is I basically have a whole week and plenty of time to sit down and come up with 5 really good topics. And then the other 20 minutes is spent just, bullshitting, asking about people's day, taking a little break between the things, and then I should be speaking not a whole lot. My whole job should be basically to just sort of direct the conversation.
Yeah, the problem is you're very interesting when you speak, and you add a lot.
Well, I can do that on
of
your
your
show.
own content to do it.
But I could do that on your show.
We want you to do that all the time.
He wants to run the plantation, and we have to pick the time.
But in terms of being a good host, that would be like the perfect show. But you know what? It's actually really, really hard to write 5 good questions a week and not end up recycling a lot of material.
You're right.
So the show that I want to make, I just realistically can't do it because I have like a job and stuff that I have to do. Anyway, enough about me. Interrupters is a big one. Then they have dental issues and, of all things, short hair. I can't remember ever thinking that a woman was unattractive because she had short hair. Is this a thing? Or
Not
am I just weird?
unattractive. It's not a preference of mine, but it's not again. It's not a deal breaker. It's not something like
what?
having nothing to say.
What did they mean by short?
What?
I don't know.
I think it's subjective.
Yeah, because like I mean, you can have
That's
like
that just
a pixie cut, a bob cut, a buzz cut. Like it's
Maybe there's some dude. I mean, okay. The thing is, I guess I'm just very omnivorous when it comes to women. I see a woman with short hair and she's cute. I go, awesome. I see a woman with like 1980s big hair and I go, loving the big hair. I mean, I'm just a glass half full kind of guy, I guess, and I just don't care. Is short, long, medium, whatever, as long as it fits the person, what difference does it make?
Yeah, definitely.
Just you want to.
I'm right there with you. It's not important enough to make any sort of significant impact.
Well, if you look really terrible in a Lois Brooks haircut with you don't want to look like Lois Brooks if you look like shit with a Lois Brooks haircut. So the haircut has to work for the person. Other than that, I don't give a damn. I don't know what this Cosmo writer came up with. I think she's drinking too much on the job or something.
She's interviewing the type of men who would respond to a Cosmo poll, Harry. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just says here that the ending of it is, in short, gals, if you want to bag yourself a bloke, make sure you stay healthy, don't desecrate the sacred ground that is your body, never get drunk, and always carry a dictionary. For starters.
Okay. The sad part is she's not even being hyperbolic, even though...
It's really all about her. She essentially went onto Reddit, talked to a bunch of guys, and took every single thing they said personally, and then wrote a column about it because,
But I have short hair, tattoos all over the place. I interrupt everybody.
What's her name? Let's see, who wrote this piece of crap?
Except that dictionaries don't typically correct grammar errors. So I would say...
thesaurus?
Well, or even about a
grammar
ninth grade, English grammar book.
Not before number 1, Harry?
Sorry, what?
Is it not just before? Oh, okay. No, I thought it was right.
No, I can't find it. That's good. I wouldn't want to put my name on this piece of crap either.
This sounds it's more like a shoot. I had something that was due at 9 a.m. and I completely forgot about it. So,
Well, you know what? We're done. We are done. This is the show. Anybody have any final thoughts, Sora?
I want to agree with Costin. I do look cute in a bob, so thank you.
There you go. Functional.
Only a request to play play us out with that video.
Yes.
Like you promised.
Damn it. Yes. Do you really want me to do that?
You thought I forgot. I'm not.
I think that'd be wonderful.
I had to see it. Everybody else has to
Everybody else has to see it.
Absolutely.
The rules.
All right. Well, we'll do it without the sound, though, right? Because I don't want to listen to that.
Struck.
Yeah,
I don't want to listen to that thing. All right. So we'll kill the sound. Carry on.
Just audience, imagine weeby anime music, okay?
My final thoughts are: be sure to check out my YouTube and Twitch channels. I am trying desperately to get my remaining watch hours. I have 2,300 to go.
Nice.
And if I don't get them by New Year, I'm going to have to do something else because it's been 5 years. And yeah, so help me get my 2,300 hours. Even if you have to put it in low volume and not even actually listen to it, just play that shit.
Okay, here's the thing. We'll go full screen. All right, so this is this Emiru. I guess she's in that streamer house with all those Ms. Kiff and those guys. And so she's doing her thing, and there's a new effect. And so it ends up looking like this. Ah! Duh!
Make it
You
stop.
can see
Is
the
it
heart,
like a
they're neon heart
filter,
eyes.
or-
It's like a terrible filter. So we were looking at this after the show last week, and I thought to myself, well, let me try a bunch of mask effects and see what they look like. So this is her with the Donald Trump mask.
Now this,
Oh my God.
that is...
And it ends like that.
So it ends with this creepy looking Donald Trump face with hearts for the pupils of the eyes, with this creepy overbite grin and a seemingly
my
light
God.
blonde hair just
So now
barely
we have
touching
this
his
cursed
ears.
image.
It's pure art.
That's terrifying.
It is a
Yeah, it's
terrible,
absolutely
terrible cursed
terrifying.
image.
Absolutely horrifying.
This is better than any TikTok video I've ever seen.
All right. We're done then, right?
Yeah.
We're done. Stick a fork in us.
All right.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Zoo's
Good night,
closed.
everybody.
Go
Good
home.
night.